Our story begins with a teenage survivor named Spike. He grew up on a small island community off the British coast, a place that used the natural barrier of water to stay safe from the mainland hordes. Spike got separated, captured, and taken in by a group of strangers moving through the wasteland. At first, he thinks he's been rescued. He's wrong. They are a cult. The group calls themselves the Fingers, led by a charismatic and deeply disturbed man named Sir Lord Jimmy Crystal. He calls his followers the Jimmies. Every member must abandon their real name and identity and become an extension of Jimmy himself, faceless, obedient, and completely devoted to his cause. When Spike is brought before the group, Jimmy lays out the rules simply. Spike must fight another cult member in a knife duel to the death. The cult surrounds the edge, screaming like spectators at an ancient arena. Spike is terrified. He's never killed anyone. His hands are shaking. His opponent is older and completely calm, but survival leaves no room for hesitation. What follows is a desperate, ugly struggle. No heroics, no skill. Somehow, Spike drives his knife into his opponent. The man collapses. The cult erupts in celebration. Jimmy steps forward, grips Spike by the shoulder, and welcomes him to the family. Meanwhile, deeper in the British wilderness, another story is unfolding. A doctor named Dr. Ian Kelson lives alone in the ruins of an old research settlement. Brilliant and obsessive, Kelson has spent years studying the rage virus. Near his home stands a monument unlike anything else in the wasteland, the Bone Temple. It is exactly what it sounds like, a massive structure built entirely from human bones. But Kelson believes something that most survivors would call madness. He believes the rage virus might not be permanent, and he thinks he's found proof, because something keeps returning to the temple, an infected creature unlike any Kelson has ever documented. His name, or what Kelson has given him, is Samson. Samson is an alpha infected, a rare mutation that makes certain infected stronger, faster, and more aware than the rest. But Samson doesn't attack Kelson. He circles. He returns, again and again. Instead of killing him, Kelson has been experimenting carefully, sedating Samson with tranquilizer darts filled with morphine and studying his behavior up close. Samson starts changing. His movements grow less frantic. His eyes, which should burn with nothing but rage, sometimes go still, as if something is stirring behind them. Then one night, Samson turns his head slowly toward the sky and whispers a single word, "Moon." Kelson can barely breathe. It means the infected mind is not completely gone. Somewhere beneath the virus, beneath the rage, beneath everything stolen from them. If Samson can recover even a single word, maybe there is a way back. Back with the cult, one of the Jimmy scouts ahead and spots the Bone Temple from a distance. He reports back to Jimmy Crystal wide-eyed and breathless. Jimmy is immediately captivated. A structure built from human bones, standing alone in the wasteland. To a man who believes Satan orchestrated the apocalypse, this is not a coincidence. This is a sacred site, a place of power. He orders the entire cult to move there immediately. As they travel, Spike's quiet rebellion has been growing. Each raid, each act of cruelty, each innocent life destroyed pulls him further from any loyalty to the cult. He's been watching Jimmy Inc., the quiet man who observes everything and believes nothing. But Spike senses an ally. He just needs an opening. The cult arrives at the Bone Temple. Dr. Kelson sees them coming. He knows immediately that direct confrontation would be suicide. So, he does the most calculated thing he can. He becomes what they fear. When Jimmy Crystal strides into the temple, Kelson is waiting, surrounded by firelight and bone towers, his voice low and theatrical. He performs a ritual of strange chants, controlled fire, and symbols drawn in ash. He lets them believe, even for just a moment, that they may be standing before Satan himself. The effect is immediate. Cult members drop to their knees. Even the hardened Jimmies go pale. Jimmy Crystal stares with wild eyes, caught between terror and rapture. Kelson presses his advantage. He feeds Jimmy's own beliefs back to him like bait, telling the cult that their leader must prove his ultimate devotion through sacrifice, that Jimmy Crystal himself must die. For one fragile, incredible moment, the cult turns on their leader, but Jimmy sees through it. His expression shifts from awe to fury in an instant. Before Kelson can react, Jimmy lunges forward and drives a blade into the doctor's chest. Kelson collapses to the bone-covered floor, dying among the monument he spent years building. The cult implodes. Members turn on each other. The brittle order Jimmy maintained through fear shatters completely. Spike moves. He grabs a weapon and launches himself at Jimmy Crystal. The two fight violently through the temple. The final end of Jimmy Crystal comes from somewhere else entirely. And together, following the very logic of Kelson's ritual, they carry out the doctor's final instruction. They crucify Jimmy Crystal upside down. The man who called himself a prophet of Satan is left hanging in agony inside the very temple he came to claim. The cult falls apart. The Jimmys scatter. It is over. Spike and Jimmy Inc. stand among the bones and the silence, both trying to process what they just survived. They agree to leave together, to find somewhere better, to actually start over. But before they can go, the temple offers one final moment. Out of the darkness, Samson appears. The Alpha infected moves slowly and deliberately toward the fallen body of Dr. Kelson, the man who spent months studying him and never treated him as a monster. And instead of attacking, Samson crouches down and gently lifts the doctor's body and carries him away into the night. But the world won't allow peace for long. As Spike and Jimmy Inc. run through the dark countryside, a massive horde of infected appears behind them. From a hillside in the distance, two figures watch. One of them is Jim, the original survivor from the very beginning of this nightmare.